Congratulations, you have placed your first order. Now what? You will be getting an invite from Basecamp from my email. Once you sign into Basecamp, you will find this. This order is for an ACE Pro website. So what you'll see in the top is your center number, the project number, what the order is, and then the name of the company. For this example, Kate Shoes. Continuing down, you will find the specs of the job that was placed in the order. An ACE Pro website, design and copywriting, format 1, 5 pages, content management system, a rotating header, and a contact form. Continuing down, you'll see messages that have already populated for you. You'll have job info, which will actually be your summary of the job that's attached. So this is what you paid for. So in case we ever need to refer back, you or myself, you'll be able to actually see what order was placed. From here, you have a thank you for your job order. Of course, we're very much appreciative to work with you. What happens next? This will actually lay out the design of what happens next, of what we're looking for. The best way to correspond with your project is always through Basecamp. Basecamp is a way for us to communicate and keep everything together on your project. So that means that the programmers, the designers, the copywriter, and myself will all have access to this project on Basecamp, and same with you. So we can all collaborate on this. You can upload any kind of photos or things like that, and we all have access. So when you email things, that's a way of things getting lost in transaction or just being misplaced. But by going to Basecamp and actually uploading them themselves and putting them in a message, it stays all together and they're all in one place. So going through this list, it's going to tell you some things you need to know, just meaning revisions are 24 hours, things we're looking for like your logo and your photos and client text if we need that. All these are up here for you. Same with hosting information because when we will need that from you. From here, this will say upload site photos here. So this is the message you would click in and actually leave down here and leave a comment. Here you can upload the files directly and leave a comment saying photos attached for a home page. So you can actually lay down the specific, where these photos are going and then upload them. If you have a large amount of photos, let's say you're doing a photo gallery and then limited one at that, we definitely, recommend zipping those files up, or we can send you a link to our server and you can directly upload them there if they are large files. Next, you'll have your logo to upload, and it's the same thing. You would just upload the logo and any kind of description you would have about it. Next, very importantly, is the creative brief. You're asking, what is a creative brief? The creative brief is pretty much the foundation of any advertising or marketing campaign. It is our treasure map. This is what we use with our designers, with our programmers, our creative director, our copywriter. This is the tool they use to actually go over the website or any kind of marketing material we're doing to make sure we are following the guidelines that are there with the creative brief. So this is something that has to be filled out before we can do a design call. Let's go to the link. And this will be a website creative brief. So first off, you would start with your client with this. It's your job to be exact with everything you can from your client and condense it. You want to know as much as you possibly can about the product or the service they're offering. So you want to make sure you sit down with your client and fill this out together. You never want to fill this out without the client, because the client, this is the one time they can actually put stuff down and really help express things they want. I've filled out a creative brief. I have this in a Word document as well. So just to kind of run you through how it should look, your job ID and summary number. It's all my information up top, and then your client's information to follow. And then more or less it just runs through all the details, client marketing, and who their audience is, what does their business do? I can't tell you enough times, I've gotten a creative brief with some of these things left blank. And this is all we have to go with before our design call. So it's, definitely so great to know, to organize your thoughts with your client and really help, hone down on what it is and what they're trying to accomplish. There's places on here where, do they love something? Do they hate something? Those are wonderful things to include. If there's a website they absolutely love, we'd love to see it and know why they love it. Also, it's so helpful before the creative design call if we have their logo or their current marketing materials or any kind of photos they want to use. It just allows our designers to take the time to look over those ahead of time and make sure they're in the right format or make sure they don't have any questions about the photo or anything. So these are all great things to have beforehand. So once again, just going through your target audience, the single most important message you want your website or e-marketing project to communicate. These are things that are really great to ask your client because, you may not know or you may think you know what your client wants to convey, but, until you sit down and actually ask them these questions, it's amazing what you can find out. So that's kind of why we offer this. The great thing is to write, everything and more that they're telling you, but afterwards it's great to actually get a, red pen out and slash some of this. They're going to tell you a lot of fluff and things you don't need, but it's important to really hone down on the key points, and help us with direction of where they want to go. And same with here, additional comments for the creative team, a couple websites that they like or dislike, and then we also have a little area for navigation tabs. What do you want those navigation tabs to be? And, I've listed 5. This is a great way to double check your work. So I have 5 here, and then in the actual project, sorry, I have to go back. In the actual project, I have in the overview, I have 5 pages purchased. So it's really nice to, cross-reference with them because, they may, well, no, I also want this page or that. Well, that's a great time for you to say, well, I can get a quote for additional pages. However, at this point, you have purchased 5, or make them, consider, oh, okay, well, maybe let's just go with the 5. So it's a great way to also use this tool to cross-reference what they did buy and to make sure you all are on the same page. So you have 2 ways to do this. You can either fill out the creative brief through here and submit and hit submit, or I have it in a Word document that I am more than happy to always send along with you, and that will kind of, if your client's going to want to revise it a couple times or, maybe sit down and walk it through doing the Word document and then submitting it online. It's kind of up to you what you feel most confident with, but I definitely recommend either way. And then lastly, once we get the creative brief, I will schedule a design conference with you. And this will be you, your client, myself, project manager, a designer, and then also a copywriter if we have copy. And what they'll do is they'll actually, this is the only time we actually talk to your client. So they'll be able to, talk to them, ask them questions about the creative brief, kind of just see if they can get any keywords from them that, could definitely hone down on what they're envisioning with their marketing project. So, it's typically a 20-minute phone call. It doesn't take much time, but it's something that's so important. And then from there, we can actually, I'll lay out the schedule with your client a little bit so they know our expectations and time frames. And then we can actually get it scheduled, to follow, just as long as we have all the photos and logo and text that we need to get started. So it's a really great way for everyone to get on board and get your client, excited and, ready to move forward and know that they're actually going to see some results. So once again, we're excited you placed your order, and I look forward to working with you in the future.